Hello YouTube, welcome to another episode of That Truck. I just couldn't sleep. I got in long run, one of them long trips. Sleepy, fight sleep, but at the same time I'm kinda awake. I'm just as I was running the night, YouTube, as I was just, making my trip and I'm in that truck, I had time to think. Didn't even really run the radio a lot. I just kind of let my mind brainstorm a little bit, and it just made me think about how proud I am of the trucking industry as a whole, at least according to what I have experienced in my 20 years of trucking. And, because I was looking at a lot of the media and a lot of the news that's been out lately, a lot of things going on with the police and the black community. I couldn't help but think, how did that relate to the trucking industry? And I can honestly say that, when it comes to another trucker to me, from trucker to trucker, I have not experienced not one situation of racism. You know, to the contrary, every time I needed something, it so happened that there was Caucasian truckers that was there to help me over 90% of the time, and did not hesitate to do so. And same here. I've come across a lot of situations where a driver needed my help, and it wasn't based on what his skin is, but I helped him as I would have helped anyone and as I have been helped. And that just feels good to say that about our industry. You can say a lot of things about the trucking industry, and we talk about one another's driving and skills, and every now and then you see a driver take about an hour to bump a dock. But at the end of the day, one thing I love about our industry is that somebody's always willing to lend a hand out and help another driver be safe or finish his day out in a better way. And like I said, I'm really proud of that, and I love our industry for that. I've met a lot of really, really good drivers over my career. My trainer coming out of CDL school, his name was Claude. I still remember his name. He taught me so much. First thing he told me when I got in the truck: forget everything you learned in school. Forget everything they taught you. I'm just going to reteach you everything. Just forget it. And he was real patient with me. I even would take my 34-hour reset break with him at his house, because most of the times, we just wind it up. It just so happened we wind it up toward his home. And his family invited me as if I was just a regular family member. Treated me no differently. I ate where they ate. Had a room and everything. Everything was just real well. So again, my experience has been real good, and I really hope that other drivers can say the same. And I can honestly say that, even in the midst of the drivers that I know personally, not one has ever told me about a bad experience. So I am really glad that racism hasn't really snuck its way into the trucking industry. If so, even if it is, there's always high respect within our industry. And I love that, and I just made this video to encourage more of that, and hope that we will continue to be a strong community of drivers that continue to get America what they need. Because America depends on us, whether they know it or not. We are the heart of America. If we stop getting in those trucks, then America will stop. It will be halted. And a lot of times they act like they don't know that. And it's almost as if, like I had in my other videos, I talk about how the trucking industry is sabotaged. But that's okay. At the end of the day, we still have a job to do, and we're going to push beyond and do that job. we're going to do what we're paid to do. We're going to make it happen regardless. So, yeah, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about that racism thing. And, I remember not long ago, a few months ago, I took a load down to the Joplin area. They have a Tyson Food in that area, and I pulled up at the Tyson Food, and all I wanted to know was, hey, what dock do I need to bump to get this off and get this other stuff on? And the security guard, I kind of noticed he was just really staring at me like he had something to say. I get out of the truck, and he said he wanted to explain some of the procedures to me. Anybody who ever delivered to the Tyson Food, you know what I mean? They have their procedures. Well, after he said that, he first thing he asked me, what do you think about all this stuff that's going on, racism and this, that, and that. I told him, I said, I'm not worried about that. Really, I just come here to do my job and leave. And at the end of the day, we all people. And, and I proceeded to tell him how, look, I have rainbow in my family. As a matter of fact, my great-great-grandfather was another color. I mean, the thing is that to me, it's just ultimate ignorance, at the end of the day. So it ended out on a good note. He wound up being really nice to me and told me, what I needed to do, and made sure I made it to the right dock and checked on me and, helped me check back out. So it wound up really being a good experience. But my point is that the only time I even ever had that conversation was with a security guard at the guard shack. It was never with another driver. So, just to reiterate what I'm trying to say as a truck driver is that, hey, in our industry, I just love how we have one another's back, like a big, huge family. Even though, we would never, none of us will all never see one another, there's no way, it's too many. It's too many drivers. But at the end of the day, I do have the confidence to know that if I'm somewhere and I need help, there's always a driver that's going to stop and help you and make sure you're okay. And that's what I really love about the trucking industry. And my hope is that, racism will never really interrogate our industry, and run rapid and corrupt our industry. I hope that we stay untouched, for the most part. And if not, become even better than that, become a more tight-knitted than we are right now as an industry and as drivers. And especially now we're growing as an industry. You even seeing women coming in, and I know some of them have bad experiences, and that's going to happen just like with the military. I mean, but at the end of the day, for the most part, even the drivers I talk to have a positive attitude even toward the women as far as helping them out if they need something, and really not trying to make things really complicated for them, for the most part. And that's what's good. And so, hey, YouTube, I'm gonna get ready to cut it short. It's been a long night, I've had the opportunity to be local now for the last 6 months, and I tell you what, I'm loving it. I can come home and sleep in my own bed and not in the sleeper, even though I run an evening shift. I run in at night, but I actually kind of prefer that. You can get around the scale. Scale houses are closed and traffic's not as bad, so it definitely has its perks. But I just kind of couldn't sleep tonight, and I just really wanted to share my thoughts with you, YouTube, before I shut it down and get my little 10 hour, 12 hours, whatever I'm going to get. So, till next time, keep trucking for wealth.